Why do you love metal? It's a question that metalheads get asked all the time, a question that has as many answers as there are metalheads. You can love Black Sabbath, the Lamb of God, and Meshuggah, but the specific reasons you love each band may intersect very little, if at all. The purpose of this show is to dig into the question, to explore and celebrate the vast stylistic variety within the metal genre. So, why do you love metal? Let's find out on 5 songs. I'm not even ready for this. But here we are anyway. Another episode of 5 Songs. I'm your host, Kevin Tulppo, as usual. And my guest today is Dan Lyjak, guitarist for Dragsaw. Welcome to the show, Dan.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Cool, man. Glad you made it out. Okay, so everybody knows the deal by now. Dan has shown up with 5 metal songs that he digs for whatever reason. And we're going to get into each and every song and talk about it a little bit and find out why they're special to him. And then
Hi, Trish.
and then we're gonna we have a guest listener. We are now we now have a studio audience.
Excellent.
All right. Anyway, so we don't waste a whole lot of time getting into things.
Right.
So first up on your list today is Typo Negative making another appearance. They've been on a couple of different guests have had
yeah.
Typo.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been able to
Trish had
catch
some
a
Typo.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this song is called "I Don't Want to Be Me."
Yes.
So tell us what you like about this song, Dan.
Well, it's really Typo Negative as a whole. I chose this particular song just because it's a little bit shorter. It's going to save us some more time. Typo Negative has
Time is of no object here.
Yeah, well, but you don't want to throw a song at people that's going to have them listening for half the night, which Typo Negative has a tendency to run over the 8, 9, 10 minute mark with some
Did
of
you
their
listen to
tunes.
last week's episode?
I did not. I'll admit that.
Who has the time, right?
But Typo Negative. They were the first metal band that I ever found myself growing fond of. I grew up listening to a lot of classic rock. My parents were big into Aerosmith and the Stones, the Beatles. Aerosmith was my first favorite band from the time I was 4 until the time I was 12 or 13. But my brother, on the other hand, he's got about 10 years on me. And so while I was going through all that, listening to that music, he was getting into the mid-'90s metal, listening to Pantera and Marilyn Manson, 9 Inch Nails and such. And so first chance that he had, he was taking me out for rides, in his car, driving around, and we were listening to tunes, I thought that was pretty cool, especially that, my older brother wanted to have some bonding time with his little bro, so that really, that was special to me, but introduced me to a lot of new and interesting sounds.
Right.
And the one that stood out the most was Typo Negative, because I can still remember the first time that I heard that deep, bassy voice of Peter Steele, and
it was very much different. I mean, that's coming out of the 80s hair metals where all those guys tended to be tenors. And even the thrash and the
power metal.
Yeah,
and
the power metal stuff. Those guys are all like high register tenors and whatnot. Yeah. And for a guy to go low like that was definitely an interesting direction to go.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know. It's a song that once I got deeper into their catalog, it always kind of resonated with me because I know that. Pete had a long history of depressive disorder, and it's something that I kind of empathize with him for, and so this song really lays that out on the table, and even though it's a faster paced, kind of thrashy, punky song as opposed to their normal doom metal speed, he really lets out a lot of emotion in it, and I guess that's really why I think that it's really just so important to me.
All right, man. Well, let's fire it up and have a listen to it. This is Typo Negative with "I Don't Want to Be Me." I don't want to be Typo Negative. I don't want to be me. That's one I hadn't heard from them. I liked it. I was saying like it's right when it started. I was saying that it's weird because they're the stuff that they're known for. They're more doomy, dirge like longer stuff. Is definitely their own creation. But when they do stuff like this, that's a little more aggressive. It sounds like The Cure with a lot of distortion.
Yeah, and you see a lot of times, I know when they would write songs like this, the quicker and poppier, and like you said, a lot of their more popular music is such for that reason. But they were kind of making fun of the trends that were going on at the same time.
I always got that. I mean, that's Black Number One was just ripping on goth chicks all fucking day long.
and the goth chicks were the ones that ate it up.
Oh, I know.
So it's just that tongue in cheek.
Let that be a lesson. Let that be a lesson, fellas. Don't be nice to chicks. Fucking mock them, and they will love you.
Is that true?
Dude, that's fucking science. I'm not really
Oh, man.
Making friends and impressing people wherever I go. All right, man. Good tune. That was a good one. All right, next up on the list is Down, Eyes of the South.
Yes.
Of course, Down is a Phil Anselmo project after the breakup of Pantera.
Yeah, actually, this was even prior to the breakup.
Oh,
it was,
okay.
Yeah, Down came out with their first album in 1995, which was well before
Right, okay.
the breakup. But they got a lot of recognition for being basically what people were calling a supergroup at the time, because they were made up of members of Pantera and Crowbar and Corrosion of Conformity, and it was. But really, they were a bunch of guys that were jamming together in New Orleans well before any of them had gotten famous.
Right.
So it was just kind of them regrouping and deciding, hey, let's put out an album together, and that's what this song came from, the album NOLA. And like I was saying, I was early on influenced by a lot of like classic rock, and so when I got into playing guitar around age 12, I still had that kind of classic rock style to me.
That kind of blues bass, southern,
very blues
southern
based,
fried guitar player kind of shit.
Exactly. Like a lot of my early guitar heroes were the likes of Ted Nugent and like Joe Perry, Aerosmith, Dwayne Allman, Gary Rossington from Skinner, all very bluesy
Right.
playing guys, and that kind of stuck with me. So when I got into metal more, I joined a band when I was 15 with current Dragsaw bassist Mike Schneider. Just basic little garage metal band. Never made anything out of it, but we were getting into writing our own music, and I just couldn't place my style with it, what came naturally to me, until I found Down, and they have that very southern style to them. They were the gateway into southern sludge metal for me.
Right.
I didn't know anything about the subgenre at all, and really it's all that I'm into writing nowadays. So this was the beginning for me, and I think the way that Pepper Keenan lays this bluesy guitar solo over the beginning, over the intro of this song, is just perfect. It's beautiful. It's everything that I want to do when writing heavy music, because it's still that fusion of very southern bluesy, but it's still heavy as hell.
Right on. All right, man. Let's hear it. Down, Eyes of the South. All right, that was Down with Eyes of the South. I like the heaviness of that. I really like there's a tonal quality where it's just got a huge tone,
Right. And very groovy.
Yeah.
It's the kind of stuff that I'm into. That's all.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the next song then. This one is Megadeth making another appearance. They've been on a few times now. This song is called Architecture of Aggression. What's the deal with this one?
This one comes from more of like the standpoint of when I decided that I wanted to do more than just, copy other people's music and, write a riff that sounded cool here and there and try and piece it into a song. I wanted to actually become a songwriter. When I was with this band that, starting off in high school with Schneider and everything. And I wanted to take this the next step, but I needed somebody in a sense to look up to as a songwriter, and I always looked to Dave Mustaine at this era because when I was getting into heavy metal, I was getting more into thrash, and even though early Megadeth is more my favorite, the mid to late 80s and stuff like that, this 90s more kind of pop era, not pop, but a little bit more popular, I guess, era of Megadeth. Something about this song, listening to the way that Dave Mustaine matured as a songwriter, he's always had great musicians surrounding him, guys like Marty Freeman and Nick Menza and Dave Ellefson to write songs with, but Megadeth as a whole was Dave's band.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of been its strength and its weakness all along.
All along, yeah, of course, but he had that hard-headedness to drive the band forward when it could have quit, a million times, and people have different opinions about that. But anyway, I think that this song in particular, just the way that it's put together, the thing that stands out to me is the chorus and the way that you listen to the chorus of this song. It goes, "Great nations built from the bones of the dead with mud and straw, blood and sweat. You know your worth when your enemies praise your architecture of aggression." And there's not a single strong rhyme to be found throughout that, and yet he flows through it so poetically that you wouldn't know the difference. And that to me is just a sign of a strong songwriter, lyric writing anyway.
Right.
And Dave is just overall a songwriter that I have always looked up to, and always strove to be like, I guess.
Cool.
So,
all right, man. Let's fire it up. Megadeth, Architecture of Aggression.
Great
All right, Megadeth, Architecture of Aggression. That was this is the kind of stuff that Megadeth does that I really, really dig. It's super tight, real groovy. Great guitar solos.
Yeah, Marty Friedman was awesome, and Dave had a knack for throwing out his own interesting styled guitar solos, but he has definitely had the opportunity to work with some awesome guitar players over his career, also filling in. So
that was a good jam. I liked it. All right, next up then is Crowbar, which we're getting back into the Louisiana sludge.
Exactly.
I dig Crowbar myself. They're just heavy as hell, and
one of my favorite bands to see live,
a lot of good things going on with Crowbar. This song is called Isolation, Desperation.
Yeah, Desperation in
parentheses.
Parentheses there.
They got to do that.
But yeah, going back to the influence that Down has had on me and kind of introducing me to a different subgenre of metal that I wasn't familiar with when I was first getting into all this and getting into playing guitar and writing my own music and everything. And that sludge metal, that Louisiana sound, like I swear sometimes that my music would go over so much better down south in Louisiana, in New Orleans especially, just because this is so much of my favorite music now comes from that region. But I found Crowbar because I had gotten into Down, and I wanted to dive into some more of the projects that the members of that band had been a part of. And so Kirk Winstein, a guitar player for Down, had his own band Crowbar. And I couldn't have discovered this band at a better time, really. The album that this song came off of is one called Sever the Wicked Hand, and it came out just as I was going through a pretty wicked breakup, and the lyrics of this song in particular really just captured everything I was going through, and but aside from the emotional attachment that I had to that, the music just consistently throughout this entire record showed me something entirely new. It was the first record to come along and make me want to change the way that I wrote music. It was just a key turning point for me, finding this music. And, I go back and research some of the previous discography from Crowbar, and it turns out everything is exactly like this. It's very groovy. It's got those riffs with the hooks and grooves that make you feel like the ground is falling out from underneath you, and I like that. That's my favorite, and I wanted to start doing more of that. So there you have it. I mean, this song is the first song off that album. It's the first thing that I heard from Crowbar, and I was a bit of a late bloomer, I guess, but
hey, better late
than never, yeah. So,
all right, man. Let's have a listen to it. This is Crowbar with Isolation, Desperation.
Never coming back until the isolation.
All right, Crowbar, Isolation, Desperation. They sound huge. They always sound huge.
Always
I mean,
very heavy,
I
very
saw
low.
I saw them the first time. Like I was saying, I saw them for the first time in like 1991. They were on tour supporting Pantera. I saw them in Flint, and you know, and live they're just they're just
Yep.
crushing. They're so heavy, just a massive tone.
Right. Yeah, I picked up that album and I fell in love with them, and then, you know, like I said, a late bloomer, but they came through town not too long after that, and I went to see them, and just unbelievable, you know, the electricity in that crowd, you know, even for such slow music. They have, you know, they print shirts that say on the back, "Tune low, play slow," and
Well, yeah, I mean,
really,
well, you know,
that's-
you don't. It's you know, it's playing like you're getting paid by the note is not required to be intense.
no,
You know,
right.
I mean,
It's a very it was a different kind of music for me, because I mean, you know, I was familiar with Down, and Down has their, you know, had their own style. Everything that they did together, you know, it was an interesting mishmash of musicians from all different styles that did one thing right. But Crowbar came, they were just everything that I loved about Down I could find in Crowbar. I don't know. I just like I said, it was life changing. It changed my direction completely. I wanted to write music like that,
right on.
and that's really what brings me to the next and last band and song on this list here.
All right, well, nice segue. So we are at your fifth song, your last song for this episode. We're gonna listen to some Acid Bath. This song is called "Bleed Me an Ocean."
You familiar with them at all?
You know, I not really.
No. Well, discovering Crowbar and all that, and seeing that there was sort of a correlation between these bands that I love so much being in this music that I love coming from Louisiana, it made me kind of dive more into that local scene a little bit, that the music that came from New Orleans. And this is another band, they're from Houma, Louisiana. Just based on research, I looked into them, and again, a late bloomer on this, but now they are, I can legitimately say they're my favorite band. And it's just another one of those bands, I started getting into them, and the more I listen, the more it just does something to me. It's like a black magic in this music that it says everything that my soul wants to say. And Dax Riggs is a wonderful musician and a wonderful spirit. I've listened to his interviews and stuff like that, but he's a very interesting character, and he was especially interesting at this era. Acid Bath only put out 2 albums in their time together in the mid 90s, and then their bass player died in a car accident, and they split off. They went separate ways, and their guitar player, Sammy Dewitt, went on to form Goat Whore. You might be familiar with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Goat Whore's good.
Yeah, Goat Whore is good. But this is where that came from. And Dax went on to go on and start a more of like an acoustic soft rock, not soft rock career, but he does his own acoustic shows, and he's gone a completely different route. But when he was with Acid Bath, his lyrics were dark and menacing and just took me to places that, I don't know, it inspired me to put a lot more vague symbolism into my lyrics, because I have been the primary lyricist for Dragsaw as
Right.
well. And this was another just kind of pivotal turning point for me, finding this band, because it once again inspired me to do different things with my music. Like I said, Crowbar changed the way that I wanted to write music. Well, these guys solidified that when I discovered them.
Cool. All right. Let's hear it then. This is Acid Bath with Bleed Me an Ocean.
Let the brightness roll. Mama's cool reptilian world. It's so cool tonight. Yeah. My
Acid Bath, Lead Me an Ocean. I like that.
Me too.
That was that one. It's kind of it's again. It's I mean you like that sludgy that sludgy kind of. This one is kind of is less bluesy. I think
It is. It's a step further off in that direction where it's more rhythm based than anything. There's no real lead playing to much of anything that Acid Bath ever did. There were a few leads, I guess, that you could find throughout some of the first album, but their second album, their last album, was mostly just rhythm and that very deep, drony sounding guitar.
Yeah.
As far as the music went,
and I think the vocals were a lot more melodic than the other stuff.
Yes,
without being necessarily singy, but just a lot more. I think this guy was just a better singer.
Yes, overall, definitely. And I would have to say that Dax is probably my favorite vocalist out of any of these listed. Love Phil Anselmo for what he did with Pantera and everything else. Henceforth, but Dax Riggs is a hell of a vocalist, and anybody that gets into Acid Bath should also look up other stuff that he's done since then if you appreciate just singing and that kind of lyric style. Very, very vague, very symbolic, but you gotta think about it. It makes you think.
Right. That's I like that.
Cool.
All right, man. That was your 5th song.
Yep. So,
thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
This has been another fine episode of 5 Songs. I'm your host, Kevin Tulppo. My guest has been Dan Lyjak of Dragsaw. I've got Gary G. Whiz Willibey engineering this thing for us, making us sound good. Whoop. Trish is our studio audience. And we're recording this as usual at the Maidstone Theatre here in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Thanks again, as always, to John Archer for letting us do this thing here. And, that'll do it for this episode of 5 Songs. And to close things out, we're going to listen to Dan's band, Dragsaw. And this song is called Take Your Best Shot. Check it out, and we'll get at you next week.
Ever notice how you come across somebody once in a while that you shouldn't have fucked with?
Hey, doggy. Who are you gonna fight? Sorry. You drinking?
I'm gonna bark all day in these houses. How you gonna fight?
I'm gonna take your eye out and show it again.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Yeah, it was a pretty fucking good milkshake.
Told you.
$4 or $5 is pretty fucking good.
Kiss my ass, Dracula.
We're talking about
Dark. On Slat 6.
you have lost your mind.
Dancing on rainbows, big fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows, big fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
God, I should have had time to catch a buzz before I got here.
Throw some Seagrams in there.